So with this picture saved, we need to select either all of the background or all of the foreground to get the actual foreground image by itself. So the sort of tools we can use to select pixels, the first one I would show you would be perhaps the rectangular Marque tool, and there's an equivalent elliptical Marque tool. So with that tool there, it's quite easy to freeform across any set of images and press the delete key and delete them. So that's a fairly straightforward tool. It just deletes everything within its area. You can also, for example, select part here, hold down the shift key and select part here, and hold down the shift key and select another part here, and go delete and delete three areas at a time. So you can build a shape if you like. The one thing you must know is that nothing can be done until you deselect. Right, if you want to change tools or do anything else, you want to look at another area, you must deselect, Control D. So when you want to do something different, you need to deselect what you were doing before. So that gives you the ability to delete big chunks of an image. Here we've got the Lasso tool, Polygon tool, and Magnetic Lasso tool. The only one I'm going to look at is the Magnetic Lasso tool. Let's just say we want just perhaps a leaf. So what you do is you click here, here, and it's only good where it can see a border, but where it can see a border, it's quite excellent. If you want, you can click and put some nodes in. Okay, and then you need to come back to the original there. Okay, so that's, once you go back and click on the original node, it makes the selection, and we could, for example, with the move tool, just take that leaf out and do something with it. If I don't want to, I go Control Z, and to deselect, Control D. Next up, here are the main ones we might use: the Magic Wand tool and the Quick Selection tool. Let's select the Magic Wand tool and see it has a context menu up here. Now the tolerance there is 10, but it should be 32, I think, is standard. So let's click out in the picture here. You can see that it's selected the pixel that I clicked on and all pixels that are associated with that color, that are near that color. If we click over here, it deselects that original one and selects those. If we hold the shift, we can build a little bit of a selection by holding the shift. Now we're pretty lucky in this one in that the foreground color is quite different to the background color. So we could build up that selection. And another thing you can do is you can go select similar. Now when you go select similar, it selects all of the colors that are similar to the ones that you've selected originally, and it's done a pretty good job there. So it's almost got all the background. So that's not a bad tool, Control D. And the last tool we'll look at is the one on the top, which is the Quick Selection tool. The Quick Selection tool is a newer tool, and you just drag it across where you want to be, and it goes ahead. You can let the mouse go and just move in and click as well, and it does a pretty good job of working out what's going on and where the pixels are. So I'm just clicking there. Sometimes you might drag, and that's a pretty good job that it's done there. So they're the various types of selection tool that you might use. There are many other ways, some far more complex. This is a simple way that you might be able to work with selection. And just the one last, Control D, the one last thing you can do is you can just select something raw like the rubber tool here. So we click here on the, eraser tool, I'm sorry. And there's also the Magic Eraser tool, which is similar to the Magic Wand and that other selection tool there. But let's just click the basic Eraser tool, right click, make it a little bit larger. Okay. And then we can drag around. So you can drag around and basically erase your own stuff. Now this is good for tidying stuff up when you perhaps found it difficult, but you shouldn't really do it from out far. You should really do it up close. So when we work in graphics, we often hold down the space bar to move the picture. When we work in graphics, we often work in close. That's because when we're working in close, we're working at a much greater resolution, and we can track the detail much better than from afar. So when you're working in graphics, you're always working in close. Now that's a slow way to do it, but it can be a useful tool, and I would say you'd use it in combination with other tools. Control 0. Okay, so that's a set of tools that you might use to erase data and to select sections of pixels that you might need to work on.